week's Saving Time recipe, I'm so excited. We've got Ontario grown vegetables. We are making the A to Z risotto and baked chicken thighs. A to Z, asparagus and zucchini. Ontario grown asparagus, oh my goodness. You have no idea. This kind of stuff really gets me wound up. So this is so fun, right? We're finally there. We are going to have a great summer of all sorts of fresh local food. Get yourselves ready. We're ready to go today. And we're making risotto. It's fun, it's interesting, you get to say it. It feels like a bit of a big deal, right? It makes us fancy. You're gonna love this meal. So easy. Sales this week at Metro. Asparagus, $2.99. Chicken thighs or drums, $1.99 a pound. Such good buys. Zucchini, $1.99. I got this cute little bag of basmati for $1.50 or something. Are you kidding me? That's a meal for a few days. Got an onion. If you have, this is a bottle of cooking white wine. If you have a bottle of white wine that you either need to open or get rid of, that's all you need. Any white wine will do, okay? You don't have to buy cooking wine. That's what we're gonna do. And if you buy cooking wine, very handy, because you got it, you just put the lid on it, stick it in the cupboard, it's there when you need it. Really good buys. And we're gonna start with our chicken. So I've taken the chicken out of its little styrofoam pourer and we're ready to go. Gave it a rinse, pat it dry. It's just been sitting maybe 5 minutes sitting out just to take the chill off of it. We're keeping it so simple this week on the chicken. Honestly, I want your risotto to be the star. We're gonna make the chicken delicious, but we don't want it to be the highlight. We're gonna let it sit at the side. Simple, simple, simple. Start preheating your oven to 350 if you haven't already. Got things going on. You remember a few weeks ago we talked about putting the seasonings on the plate and then dredging the meat in the seasonings instead of trying to season each one individually. That's just slow. So we're going to start with a little bit of pepper. If we have to top it back up, that's easy. And some salt. Look at us, we're right in this morning. And I'm saying this morning because we've switched things up a little bit. We're cooking in the morning, delivering the food by lunchtime. Some weeks we were feeling a little bit late, and for families with kids, it felt like we were keeping them up so that they could eat their dinner, which seems like a really bad idea. That's bedtime's bedtime. It's sacred in the family. Now, you know what? This week I'm showing off a little. I'm going to show off on all sorts of levels. First of all, I'm going to tell you, my son, one of my sons, cooked for me, winner, winner, chicken dinner. I got it for Mother's Day. He went out, bought the groceries from last week's show, made me the full chicken dinner. It was beautiful. This is a 20-year-old boy. This is not a skilled kitchen person, okay? This is capable, but just to show you how easy that meal really was. He pulled it off, went to the store, bought the stuff, cooked it up, beautiful meal. Showing off a little. And here, because it's time to plant gardens, and I really want to encourage you to, no matter how small your space is, you can get it going on with an herb garden. They can each have their own little pot if you don't have a lot of in-ground space. You could do that on your balcony. These herbs are still, I'm using from what I dried last year from the garden. I'm thinking that if we can get busy planting herbs now, that through the summer we can be cooking with them fresh, and in the fall we'll do a special episode and talk about how to dry and preserve those herbs so that you can use them all year. Herbs are expensive in the grocery store, and you know, and they're less. This is amazing. French tarragon. So just put that on there, and I mean, yeah, we've got to coat all this chicken, so like I said, we can add more, but we're not going to be shy. Now, if you've never cooked with tarragon, it's time to try. I urge you to plant some of that and get started with it. Most of the garden centers have a good selection of herbs ready to go. This one's lemon verbena. Whoops! But you can use, it's very light. You can use lemon balm the same way. I grew lemon verbena, so that's what I got, but it's not going to matter. I'm not going to waste that. I am not going to waste that. And you can see it's so dry, I'm just crushing it in my hand. You can get out a mortar and pestle and feel like a big deal if you want to, but you can just crush it with your hands too. Then we're just going to mix it. Okay, this is high-tech stuff right here. So we're just blending our spices. I'm going to keep the spoon clean so that if we need more, we can come back to it. My hands are probably going to get dirty. We're definitely going to need more when I'm looking. I can see we're going to need more. If I make it deep now, the first pieces will just get an awful lot on them. So all you're going to do is chicken one side and then roll it, try to coat it. You don't have to get too nervous about it. Can you imagine how delicious this is going to be? And that's it. That's all we're doing for the chicken tonight. And how easy is that? So you've got your piece and you're just rolling it around on the plate. So easy. And with thighs, just tuck things in a little bit. If it feels like it's messy, just tuck it in and get it nice and tidy. And look at that. Isn't that nice? I hope that you can already imagine how delicious that's going to be. I can get one more off of this, and then we're going to need to pack it back up. Now, Metro was very generous with me and has given me more than 2 pounds of chicken. So that's why this stack is looking so big. 2 pounds would probably get you 5 thighs as a rule, and we're cooking for 4, so that's an extra for the biggest appetite or 1 for lunch the next day. And that one can go there. And I did have a napkin just a moment ago, but I don't know what I did with it, so I'll get a clean one. No worries, I'll use it up. There, okay, now we're gonna just load the plate back up again. So we had about a spoon of pepper, a spoon of salt, and then our lemon verbena, crush it up. And you know the other thing, when you grow it yourself, you know what you're getting, right? You know what you did and didn't do to your plants. You know what you didn't put on them. You know what you grew them in. There's, you know, these days I'm skeptical. I want to believe that all these things are done nicely and right, but I'm going to go a little bit extra because I want to make sure we get all 5 of those pieces. You know, it's nice to know how your food was growing and in what environment and in what manner. And drying them is not a big deal, okay? You do not have to be nervous about drying herbs. I don't get fussy about these things. It's really not hard at all. Okay, and then we're gonna mix that up. Spread it around. There we go. And our last pieces. It's kind of gross. You know, it's chicken. It's gonna be delicious. That's what we need to focus on when it feels like that, right? How good it's gonna be. Look at all the chicken we're getting. I'm gonna need to squish that up a little. Huh, there. And another. We're cooking this for a longer time today. We're gonna do 350 for 1 hour on the chicken. And that's, I mean, you know what? It's because I want the oven at 350 for the risotto. So I'm just making do. So we're gonna cook the chicken. I'm gonna get rid of that. We're gonna cook the chicken for a little bit longer because we're using that lower temperature. And I want you to feel flexible that way in the kitchen. You know, if you wanna do one thing and you need the oven at a particular temperature for that, just adjust your recipes, okay? Oh, I don't have enough. What a drag. That's okay. It's still the nicest way to do it. And look, we're not getting everything all dirty. My hands are nowhere near it. And some salt and some pepper. Our lemon. Crush it up. So easy. I have so many herbs, and I'll tell you what, I mean, what a nice thing, because I grow a chocolate mint, and I put a little bit of it in my coffee every morning in the grounds, like in the filter basket with the coffee grounds. And it gives it just a little something, something. And why not? You know what, if I had to buy it, if I had to go out and buy chocolate mint to add to my coffee, I would never do it. But because I grew it and I have it, I use it recklessly. And it's true, if you have to go out and buy these things, then you're like, you're being careful with the way you use it. So nice to know I have so much of this and I can just go ahead and lose my mind a little. Even when I do so many things, you can just add it in. Basic olive oil, you buy it, put a bunch of your dried herbs into another little bottle and pour the olive oil on, let it sit for a few days. Now you've got a salad dressing. I mean, it's that easy. And once you've got those herbs in your kitchen to work with, and like I say, and you're not worrying about the cost of them, then, I mean, a pack of seeds, my goodness, right? And trust me, you plant oregano once, you plant mint once, you plant lemon once, you're buying the seeds once. And you can bring those pots in from your balcony and set them in a sunny spot for those to overwinter. Okay, look at this pan of chicken. Holy macaroni. We are in. I've got to wash these hands. They're way too messy. Now, the chicken's going to go in for 30 minutes. And while it's in, we're going to start prepping the risotto and have it ready. It needs 30 minutes in. Once you put your risotto in the oven, you're sitting down for 30 minutes and not doing much while dinner finishes. How nice is that? We're all ready. Into the oven it goes. 350, I've got it. I'm not going to try to open it with one hand. Maybe I could have. I feel like probably not. That's going in. I'm going to leave space for my risotto pan to go in. I've got 30 minutes on this timer. And start. I'm going to do that to make sure we get the risotto in at the right time. Give me a minute. I'm going to clean this counter off, and then I'm going to come back and start the risotto. I go back. I got everything all tidied up, and I'm ready to go with the risotto. Too easy, you guys. I used to do, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the stovetop method, and we use the arboreal rice, and you're adding half a cup of liquid at a time. A few years back, I was gifted the Julia Child Art of French Cooking cookbook, and in there learned this fantastic oven method. I don't know if it's her method particularly, or if it's a French method. I don't know. I don't care. I love it. If you don't have the energy or the time to stand there stirring, then you don't need to. You can do it this way. It's fantastic because any long grain rice will do. I always buy basmati rice. I find it cooks up the nicest. So it's my go-to rice. However, if you've got any kind of long grain rice in the house right now, just use that. Basmati is my preference. It's not a rule. This is so easy. You're just going to love doing this, and you get to make risotto, and it tastes wonderful. It's so good. It's so easy. We want it to go in the oven half an hour behind the chicken. The risotto will take half an hour to bake, so we're going to have everything come out at the same time. It's probably not going to take me half an hour to get it ready, but what the heck? Chicken's just cooking. We're standing here. We can go ahead and start. First thing we need to do is start our veggies. We need to soften them up a little bit. I'm going to put a quarter cup of butter in. I'm going to use this pan because we have to add a fair bit of liquid to it. So I'm going to start with that, and then I don't have to mess around and feel like I'm slopping all over the place. I want to say right now, if you have a cast iron Dutch oven, something that you can use on the stove and move to the fridge. Don't move it to the fridge. We're cooking. If you have cast iron, you can start it on the stove and move it to the oven. Perfect place for using that is here. So if you have that, by all means, get it out. This is when you're going to be glad you bought it. Those are a little bit pricey, so if you have one, good on you. And use it. Today's your day. This is the exact right spot for doing things like that. And if you don't already use your cast iron pans for making things like apple crisp and things like that, then you should be. You start it on the stove, move it to the oven. You know my love affair with washing dishes. I'm all about getting it done simply. So we've got a 1/4 cup of butter. I'm going to set it over here on low heat just to get going. And there we go. Just want to melt that. We're going to start with the onion because it needs the longest time to cook away in there. Hopefully I don't get too teary cutting up the onion. We only need about half to start in our bowl. It's going to come back to us as more food. And more we're going to see that because it's growing in the gardens, starting with our asparagus. So do not forget the value of that. We only need half of this nice onion. And again, honestly, any onion will do that you have in the house, okay? If you've got red onions, use a red onion. Don't torment yourself with going out and buying something fancy or special. You only need a half of an onion. Whatever you've got is going to do the job for you. And I want to get all those bits off the board so that they don't reattach themselves. I'll wrap that back up later. And cut it relatively small. You want the onion flavor. You don't necessarily want to bite into it with your eating. So keep that in mind. And oh, these knives are nice now that they're sharpened. So much easier. And once again, I'm not cooking with tomatoes to show off how nice and sharp they are. I can hear the butter. So perfect timing. It's going to be following with this onion to get it going. And isn't it exciting to use Ontario asparagus? Doesn't it just make you feel like we're there? That we got through another winter? That's what it feels like, a celebration, right? Or a bit of a prize. This is way down. All the onion into the pan. There you go. And look at my nice new pan, by the way. It's got handles so I quit burning myself. Right? We're not going to watch me burn myself anymore on that pot. So brilliant inclusion. Speaking of new things in the kitchen at Westminster, Shannon's looking at the stove and I'm not sure why.
Is that plastic?
The spoon is, yeah. It'll be all right. Shannon, do you mind? We have gratefully accepted this beautiful donation of a commercial stand mixer from Tim Hortons, Orangeville. I'm so excited. Can you imagine the things we can get going on with this in the kitchen? Such a generous gift to us here at Westminster. So excited to get using it. We'll see what comes up. Zucchini. This is, you know what? We shouldn't start with the zucchini. This is the A to Z risotto. We should start at the beginning. So we're going to start with our asparagus. Now, when you buy asparagus, they always just get something tall. You can use a vase or a beer stein, anything like that. Put a little bit of water in the bottom and stand it up in there so that it keeps moist and doesn't dry out. Anything that'll fit does the trick. It needs to be a little bit tall to support it. Now, you know I'm going to tell you the asparagus is going to tell me where it wants to be broken. And it does. Speaking to me. Speaking my language. This is beautiful. Come on, you guys. Get busy with the asparagus. Buy as much as you can. And you can roast it. We've roasted it before. You can put it in, make some crepes and roll it up and then put a cheese sauce on it. Are you kidding me? Put it into pasta dishes. Put it in risotto. Grill it on the barbecue. My goodness, so many possibilities. Just keep going with it. It's a short season and it's just so nice. It's so nice to know that your food hasn't been on a truck for a month. Right? I'm not even kidding. But sometimes I think about that and then I talk myself out of buying it because I think, oh, how long ago was that picked out of the ground? This was just picked. This is, get healthy, get this going on right now. Now, what we're going to do here, just check the tips and make sure that they look nice. These all do. If one of the tips is looking, sometimes they can get a little limp looking and everything. If it doesn't look nice, cut it off. And then we want relatively small pieces, but I don't want to use all of that because we don't need to. So we're going to save it. I can put that into an omelet or something later. I'm not getting rid of, that's not compost. Do not compost that. That you can use. And then you want to keep your tips relatively in shape so that you can see them, right? You want to see them in your risotto. I'm just going to stir my pot again and make sure everything's going okay over here. It looks good. Give it a little more heat. There we go. I'm still getting used to where to put the heat on that range. I have an electric range at home, so this is a treat to come and use this. Yeah, these bits of asparagus here, I mean, just wrap them up, set them in the fridge, and wrap them in foil, okay? They'll keep in foil, and foil is recyclable, not like that nasty single-use plastic. So, you could put them in a dish too. That's as far as I want to go. And then you can see how nice this is. These bits, throw them in a pan, whatever you're roasting in the oven, add them to it. Saute them quickly and put them in an omelet this weekend. How nice does that? That sounds really good. That's what you should do. You should make an omelet. Okay, there. And you can see I've kept the tips, and it looks pretty good. This I'm going to put, sorry Shannon, I'm going to put them right in here with that water for now, and that'll keep them fresh while I'm thinking about it. Elastics, I'll be keeping those. You already knew that. And now we'll add the asparagus. Whoops, I lost one. Look, I'm not fishing it out right now. I have no idea where it went. There'll be a little billow of smoke coming up here in a few minutes. That one's getting cooked. I'm going to turn it up just slightly. Clearly I'm not worried. Oh well, it doesn't hurt. Cut the end off, and cut the other end off. Zucchini. Here's the Z. Okay, so we've got the A, we've got the Z, A to Z risotto. I'm going to cut it in half longwise, and then into just little half points. If I cut it in half first, it's easier to slice, so I mean, why not take the easier path? Relatively thin, so we're just going to, all we're doing on the stove right now is we just want the veggies to get a little bit tender. We don't want them to be mush, we just want them to be tender. And now they're being added. And that's all of it in the pot. So nice. Look at the beautiful springtime color. This is gorgeous. And a little lower. Okay. That I'm going to come back to. It can just sit in there with my asparagus bits. And I have a cloth somewhere. Shannon, I'm just going to poke over here a second. There it is. So I can wipe up the counter a bit. I'm not loving my mess. There. And I might wipe the blade. Yeah. Now I can clean. When it was messy, it was too messy. I'm big on cleaning up as I go along. All you're doing over here, we're going to give that maybe 5 minutes max. Okay, you don't want things to brown. We just want to get them tender. In the meantime, let's start measuring our rice. We need 1.5 cups. Now, for risotto, if you're cooking for more than 4, if you're doing a bigger portion of this, the thing to keep in mind is your liquid to rice ratio is 2 to 1. So if we're going to have 1.5 cups of rice, we need 3 cups of liquid. So as long as you maintain that 2-to-1 ratio, you can adjust everything else. Obviously, you might want a little more veggie to put in there. Be creative with what you add. We could put mushrooms in. We could put, I wouldn't go peppers, but I mean certainly mushrooms or broccoli. You had broccoli tops and that sort of thing. 1.5 cups. I did this because I want to dump it all in one shot. I don't want to worry too much. I'm going to get my chicken broth ready. I've had the kettle on. Oh, so it's hot. And I want 1 cup of chicken broth. If you cooked your Mother's Day chicken dinner and you kept the broth, then you already have some. And you can just top it up with hot water to bring it to 1 cup. That's all we need. And that can go there. Since I'm here, I'll stir. And oh, we're back to this, stirring. I gotta tell you, I buy the little packets at home that dissolve easier. I don't know why. I guess I'm just being lazy. I mean, this is not hard work, this stirring. I probably should stop that. So there we are. So look at this. Look how easy this is, and look at our waste. Like, hello? This is a great meal. We've done so much and with so little. This sticker's stuck on that, so I'll leave it. That's going along. Now we're going to stir in the rice. This is only going to go for about 5 minutes. We're just looking to get it a bit of a milky color. So right now, it's a little bit kind of golden. I don't want to call it brown. It's not brown, but it's not white either. We're going to put it in the pot. We're going to heat it up with the vegetables until it gets a nice whiteness to it. So a bit of a milky color. And it is a little bit exciting. So, and you can test. Just check and see. I might actually let that go another minute before I add the rice. This is going to bug me because it's too soft. I've got that spoon over there. I just want to see if I can break the vegetables yet. Oh yeah, they're starting to split. It'll be okay. Use the spoon as your gauge. If you can break it with a spoon, you can chew it with your teeth. Spoon is not a sharp utensil, generally speaking. Okay, now you can see how it's all sizzling. I'm not going to add butter. I'm just going to let it go with what's in there. There's lots. We'll put a 1/4 cup of butter in. In goes the rice. And now, just stirring it around. There we go. Look at that. Just keep mixing it through. Mixing it through. This could take up to 5 minutes to get that nice white coloring. And keep it not higher than, don't rush it, okay? Don't turn the heat up as a way to hurry it along. Maximum heat, medium. And I know it's tempting, right? We get tempted, oh, I wanted to go faster. We crank the heat up and then everything's getting browned or just cooking too fast. Just gonna let that sit. And I've got it at like medium low, but this stove is seared, like it goes pretty good. So that's fine. And next thing we're gonna do, once that's coming up milky, we're going to add our combined liquids. So we've got, if you have a glass 4-cup measuring cup, then you could have started that way. I don't like to pour boiling water into the plastic ones, so I got this out. But we're going to transfer it all into that one. So that's still just working on itself. We need 1/2 cup of our fancy wine. Do not drink this wine. This is not wine we're drinking. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So we need 1/2 cup of cooking wine. I said before, this is like $4 a bottle in the grocery store. So it works. You've got some wine you just as soon get cleaned up, or maybe a bottle you'd like to open, then go ahead. This is the spot for it. So we just need 1/2 cup. That's the metric side. I'm not going to read it. There it is. We'll go another little shot. There. That's good. Just keep it in the cupboard. I mean, I guess you could keep it in the fridge if you want, but don't get confused and pour yourself a glass. Okay, it's not good for that. Then I need 1.5 cups. This is going too fast. I'm getting a little bit brown and I'd rather it hadn't. So I'm going to turn the heat way down. I wish it hadn't. It did. I'm not going to get upset about it. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to be like the duck, okay? Like the duck. Water off the duck's back. I'm talking myself into the whole duck thing at this point. I'm like the duck. I'm like the duck. Okay, it's super. We need 1.5 cups of water in here. So I've already got, that is going to spray like mad, so I'm going to use this sink. Got 1/2 cup, I'm bringing it to 2. There we go. 2 cups, 1 cup, all going in. Now, because we put some wine in there, when it hits the pan, it will splash. Be ready for that, okay? Be ready. There's still that little lumpy bit there, but I think it's gonna go now. There we go. Okay. So, that little bit of wine could make it exciting. Just for a second, it kind of hits the pan and revs up. All good. In it goes. Now, what we want to do is bring this to a boil, and then we will be transferring it to a casserole dish. If you've got if you've got that cast iron Dutch oven going, then you're not going to need to transfer it. Like that. I want to add a little bit of salt and pepper right now. That chicken bouillon thing probably has a fair bit of salt in it, so I'm not going to go too crazy. And a little bit of pepper. We can salt and pepper more if we think we need it when it comes out and we put in the cheese. So, that. Fantastic. I'm going to turn it up a little bit more. Bugging me that I've made a mess with the butter here, so I'm going to wipe it up right now. Not look at that. That's going to come to a boil. We're going to put it into a casserole dish. If you have a nice, like a ceramic dish with a lid on it or anything like that, if you've got something with a lid, this is ideal. I'm just going to cover this with foil. But if you have something, and you need, think like a 9x13, so probably about a 2-liter capacity. If you're checking the measurements on things, it's almost to a boil. The trick is you want this at a boil so that you quickly get it in your casserole and into the oven. Make sure it's at a boil. Don't dilly-dally messing around after the fact. Be ready to go once it's at a boil. Sizzle, lots of sizzling. Okay, it's coming along. I'm going to bring this towel over to have a spot to set the pot down. So, I mean, how easy was it? Do you see what I mean about this risotto? How easy it is and how not labor intensive. It's a bit of a shame that I let that get brown on the stove there. Sorry about that. We're all going to, look, I'm still talking water off the duck's back. I'm still working on that. I've got a full boil over here now. Go, give it a stir. Those handles get a little bit hot. It's not bad, but it's a little bit. And then we'll scoop that out. Yikes. Sorry. So this is a slow part, right? I mean, what are we going to do to make it faster? Nothing. That's a little warm. I'm not going to do that. There, now I'm good. It's not super hot, just a little warm. There we go. Move it around. It's not going to move again. We're not going to stir it again. So try to spread it around so that you can see the zucchini and the asparagus equally through. It's just, if you didn't do that, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but we taste our food with our eyes first. So when it goes to the table, it's nice if it looks amazing. If you want a good tight fit, we need the steam to stay in there, okay? You don't want to let it out. So don't be cheap with the foil on this one. Make sure that you get it so that you can really fasten it down. There, and with the convection oven, a few times the foil, I've had trouble here. The fan gets going and it gets Shannon and I look and the foil's flying around in there. It's like that. I'm going to use the lifters because I've made that pan feel hot. Chicken's going to smell good, I know it. And it looks good. Okay, right in it goes. There we go. 30 more minutes. That's it. I'll see you in 30. 30 minutes are up. Let's go. Yay. Oh my goodness, you go. Oh, it looks good. Look at this chicken. Oh my gosh. Let's poke it. Let's give it a poke. And, oh, it's brilliant. Oh, that's done. Look at how nice that looks. All we did was put the herbs on it. And now our risotto, our A to Z risotto. Please, 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 please. Be careful when you lift the foil. The steam's going to get you. A little bit of a spot. What we're looking for is that the moisture, that it's absorbed the liquid, and it has. Look at this. Beautiful. Let me close that oven. Okay, so look at this food. All that's left, the Parmesan. Now you don't have to do this, but it just gives it a little extra edge. And if you have some other sharp cheese, then use that as well. We want about 1/4 cup. I got this big spoon out. I don't know, that's probably 2 tablespoons worth. So we're just gonna sprinkle it on, and then we'll get another one and do another sprinkle. You know what? Let's just go crazy. There, one little bit. Watch yourself, and then mix it. You want that cheese to be blended through. Oh my word, you are in for a treat. The A to Z risotto is a thing of beauty. I love it, A to Z. At first I was just thinking, oh, asparagus and zucchini, it will be so nice. And then I wrote it down on a piece of paper and saw the A to Z, and I thought, oh, it's cute. So now you can, you go ahead and use that. This is a beautiful meal. While it was in the oven, I was just looking at things, and truly, I bought everything for the meal, like the wine and the rice and the onion and everything for the meal. Good chance you've got at least some of that in your house. I spent $16. That means we're going to be looking at $4 a plate. You probably could have done this with the zucchini, the chicken, and the asparagus, which would have run you about $10. Wow, right? So these sales go until next Wednesday, so that's the 19th. Metro, don't forget, get there, get the chicken, get the asparagus, get everything you need for $16, just what you need for 10, 12 bucks probably. What a good deal. Let's plate it up to see what it looks like. This chicken looks beautiful. I've got a slotted spoon because obviously we've got some accumulated fat in there. And there, one. And now a nice big spoon of our risotto. We're feeding 4, so just in your mind, right? Just to, you know, cut it into 4 sections in there. Put it on there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at that. That, nowhere up. Your kitchen is the only place, and I say this every week, but it's true. I'm not even kidding. $4 a plate or less, It's a beautiful piece of chicken and this gorgeous A to Z risotto. You made risotto that easily, no messing around. Julia Child has got it going on with this risotto recipe, I'll tell you that. If you buy the book and only use that recipe, you've got your money's worth. But now you don't have to, I told you. This is gorgeous. I want you to enjoy your dinner. love what you can do in the kitchen. You came off, you served this, you look like a big deal. This is beautiful tasting food. Everyone's gonna love it. You're gonna be everyone's new favorite cook. Go ahead, take this on, get cooking in your kitchen. Watch these videos, like them, hit subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notified each week when the new video comes up. Quit letting food eat up your time and money. Get in control of your own dinner, okay? Get busy cooking. I'll see you next week.